Yo, what's up? This is the American Dream. You are now being represented by Living the Hustle. Keep it locked right here. I'm coming up next.
Welcome back to Living the Hustle on Location. I'm your host, Laura Marcel. This week we caught up a super producer, Dream. We talked about his up-and-coming new EP, Crown, and the second part, Jewel. Crown representing classic R&B, and Jewel representing the music that he's written for others like, To the Left by Beyonce or Rihanna Under My Umbrella. Who else is writing hot hits like this? We talked about also both of his ex-wives having intertwinings with Lil Wayne. To be in the fly on the wall for them play dates.
She my bitch, nigga, that's my shit. You can't stand it, but that's my shit. No need to be dramatic, but that's my shit.
We with super producer The Dream. I mean, what can we call you? We just call you The Dream?
Mr. Nash.
Mr. Nash, whatever you prefer.
That usually happens like after like 10 p.m., but it's okay. We can go and get it popping in the daytime.
Yeah, we can stick it with Mr. Nash, aka The Dream.
The whole time. Finna get her.
So tell me a little bit about the EP you got coming out right now.
Crown EP, actually there's two EPs. Crown is one and Jewel is another. And both of them make an album. We had to push the date back for positioning with iTunes to try to make sure that I get the EP out for free if you purchase the whole album that comes out in July. So the EPs, of course, I decided to make them 6 songs each because people consume music so fast. I just felt like they're just going to run through records and not even going to hear what I want them to hear. Because I don't base my records off of what goes to radio. I base them off of how the album sounds in its entirety. And sometimes, like a record like Fancy on Love vs. Money isn't the record until like number 9, but everybody love it. But I couldn't put Fancy in a mood type of way at number 3. I had to put it at number 9 so it makes sense in the body of work. And so I think when people, when they're just often looking for just a single, they kind of just miss those type of records. So I just decided to chop it into 2.
Now, you said Crown is going to be more R&B, and Jewel will be what we would get for records that you write for other people.
Yeah, it's more progressive. And it's not really more so about writing for other people. There would be records I would write for myself that would just end up on other people because somehow I found myself in this territory where people think of me and just try to separate what I do outside of just my R&B albums or whatever. Like Holy Grail isn't a record that... Holy Grail is a record I would have to tell somebody that I wrote, It's not just an original thing that people compare both of the two things and say, oh, The Dream is not just one sound. He's just all over the place. He has great music in the pop space. He has great music in these rap records. He has great records for himself. So in order to do that, I just decided to also make Crown and Jewel a conceptual album just about bridging the gap.
Yeah, because if you think about your albums like you wrote for Justin Bieber, Baby, or you think about Umbrella, which is groundbreaking for Rihanna, I mean, like, they're completely different sounds. So Holy Grail, they're 3 different types of sounds, and the artists are so completely different from each other. People normally wouldn't think, oh, the Dream wrote that?
Yeah, and that's what I get. I still get it now, though. I would think that it's like 7 years removed now. Like, that's a long time. Like, we should know, like, by now, And I work hard on my craft to do what I do. I didn't expect anybody from the beginning to know what I was doing entirely. But at this particular point, it's kind of weird when somebody says, when I mention Love on Top, and they're like, oh, you wrote that too. And it's like, if you're a fan of mine, that means that you're supposed to be a fan from the top to the bottom, not just the records that come on radio that say The Dream on it.
Do you think it's weird that, like, both of your ex-wives are now, like, have dealings with the same man?
Of course it's weird. That's like a rare occasion. Like, it's like the first time ever in life.
Like, it's kind of like you passing. It's like he's taking your sloppy seconds almost. Like, it's really weird. He sips tea quietly. I'm just saying, like, for each woman that you have been married to, he literally has dated them or even had a child with one of them right after you got through with them. Like, the play dates must be really odd. Sips tea quietly. Okay. I mean,
Praise the Lord.
There we go. I'm lost on that one. No, for real, because it is weird. So, okay, then. Tell me, what is the interaction with them now that y'all have children with both women?
Well, me and Wayne never met face to face ever, so it's not that anything's weird. I mean, we just never crossed paths, which is probably weird for everybody else that we haven't, So it's almost like this person that you think I should know or think that he should know me, like we don't know each other at all, like not even the tiniest bit.
That's interesting, to say the least. To be a fly on the wall for the play dates, like I'm just saying.
What do you mean play dates?
Like, don't your kids like play together?
Well, yeah, but there's nothing weird about it. I mean, like, kids are kids. Like, everybody just needs a certain amount of love. Like, no, the kids aren't thinking about it like that. Like, that's when you have to put your ego in a certain place, especially as a father. For me, as long as my kids are getting the right amount of love from everybody, like, I'm not into that, the idea that my ego supersedes what their love is supposed to be. There's certain things that other than a father that I am to my kids, that you can't do with my kids anyway because of pride that I take as in being their father. But other than that, the type of love on that level, like I don't have an ego about it. I have respect for his child in the same way that he has respect for my child in those scenarios.
Now, why were you so generous with your publishing when your divorce settlement?
I'm generous anyway.
Yes, you are.
I am. I'm always generous. That's how I got here, being generous. Like, I'm not changing anything about that. Like, people who feel like they have to take advantage of somebody, there's a reason why those people are blessed the way that they are. Like, you can't change it. Like, that would just be basically me erasing the fabric of who I am, So, like, let them have it. It's not that doesn't really equate to happiness. I'm more happy that you got something and that you could have a better life because I gave something up.
Would you ever let your children be on a reality TV show?
I think Violet was just on one. It just depends on the type of somebody has to make sure that they're being watched the right way and it's the right messaging. Like, it's a lot of these shows now that kind of depict us as black people in a certain type of way. It's just, which is horrible to me in my eyes. It's not about judging. It's just about, I know that that's not how we as a culture were raised. So for me, it's just weird to watch white America expose us in a certain type of way for a certain amount of money. I know what those contracts are. It's not really even worth it at the end of the day. Like, so I don't get it. It couldn't be me.
Make sure you pick up the Dream's new EP, Crown. You'll find out just how he got the title Radio Killer with tracks like That's My Ish featuring T.I. Remember, we're bringing you more exclusive content like this each and every other Thursday on these channels right here. And we're streaming live on Yam TV. Matter of fact, why don't you subscribe to LivinTheHustle.com? Make sure to drop the G. Or you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can see me, Princess, and Susan Loren. We're giving you exclusive content that nobody else is giving you on the web. So until next time, how are you living your hustle?
No need to be dramatic, but that's my shit. Little nigga try to come behind me. She met you out tryna find me. Try to never mind me. Ain't gotta remind me, boy, that's my shit. You try to make a wild out. I just make a wild out. Turn up. I put that pussy in.